Hello, Sudoku friends. This is the New York Times Hard Sudoku. Today is March 12, 2023. Let's dive right in. We never know these days what to expect from the New York Times Hard Sudoku. It used to be that you could just deal with them in 4 or 5, 6 or 7 minutes and to be done. But lately they have upped their game and they have become sometimes much more complicated. We'll see how this one goes, though. There's a 6 blocking up here and the 6 blocking over here. So one of these two squares here must be a 6. Therefore, these squares cannot be a 6. And we've got two 6s blocking up, making this square a 6, like so. We got another 6 blocking down and 1 blocking up, 1 blocking across, making this a 6. There's a 4 blocking over here and there's a 4 blocking up here. So one of these two squares must be a 4 and therefore one of these two squares here must be a 4. And we know that 4 blocking up like so makes this a 4. We need 1, 4, 8 and a 9 to complete this row number 6. There's a 1, 4, 9 blocking this square, so an 8 has got to go here. Now, these two squares must be a 1 and a 4 because a 1 and a 4 can't go here. Therefore, this must be a 9. We got a 9 blocking down and another 9 blocking down. Therefore, this is a 9. We know that one of these must be a 3 because the 3 blocks these 3 squares up here. We also know that a 7 must go here or here. What else can we see? Well, there's a matter of the 2s and the 5s, and I can't really do anything to disambiguate those at this time. But we have an 8 blocking down and we have an 8 blocking up and 8 blocking over. Therefore, this square is an 8. The first column here needs a 2, 5, 6, 7, 8. There's a 5, 6, 7, 8 staring down at this empty square, which therefore must be a 2. So now we have reduced the number of unknowns to just 4 digits, namely a 5, 6, 7, 8. There's a 6 and an 8 here, so this is a 5 or 7, just what we needed. Now we're looking for a 5, 7, and a 6, and we have a 5 and a 7 blocking this square, which therefore automatically becomes a 6, and this is now a 5, 7, and this is a 5, 7. Now we have these two 6s blocking these 4 squares, and we have this 6 blocking across, making this a 6. And now we have all the 9 6s for this grid. These two squares must be a 1 and a 3, and therefore these two squares must be a 7 and a 2. And I'm afraid I don't know how to arrange those just now. But we made some headway. Let's look across at this row here. We need a 1, 3, 7, 9. 7. No, that is not helpful. But what is helpful is to analyze row 3. We need to find a 1, 2, 4, 7, 8. There's a 1, 2, 7, 8 blocking this square. Therefore, that must be a 4. Now a 1, 2, 7, 8. For these squares, there's a 1, 8 here. So this has got to be a 2 or a 7. Can we do more with that? I'm afraid not at the moment. I'm interested in column 8. This square is restricted. It can only be a 1 or a 9. This square can only be a 1, 7, and a 9. This square can be a 2, 7, 9. So we got a 1, 2, 7, 9 distributed among 3 squares. Now let me look at this square here. It can be a 1, 7, 8. I think I'm missing something here. There should be a triple somewhere, but I'm not quite sure. I might have to get back to that. It's probably worth noting that this is a 7, 5, and the 8 and 1 here puts an 8 and a 1 in these two squares. Column 8 is still gnawing at me. I want to figure out if there is a triple here or if there isn't. Let's start with the topmost empty square. It cannot be a 1. It could be a 2 though. And then again, it can't be a 2. And the reason it can't be a 2 is that we have a 2 blocking up here. This is a 2, 7, and this is a 2, 7. So this square or this square must be a 2 because these are 1s and 8s. So we have a 2 already present in one of these two squares. So therefore, this square cannot be a 2. So it cannot be a 1, it cannot be a 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. It can't be a 7 and a 9. So this is a 7 or a 9. Let's move down to this area where we have more 7 and 9s and see what is going to happen. I know that this is a 1, 9 because I figured that out earlier. It cannot be a 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. It can be a 7, yes, but not an 8. So this is a 1, 9. So now we have a 7, 9 and a 1, 9. And now this one here, I believe, was a 1, 7, 9, wasn't it? It can be a 1, but not a 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, yes, 8, 9. So we have in these three squares, we have a 1, 7, 9 triple. Now let's look at the other squares that are not part of this triple, because we're only looking at two more squares, this square and this square. What can this square be? Not a 1, not a 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, not a 7, not a 9. Ha! It's got to be an 8. There you go. And therefore, this square has got to be a 2. We still have the 179s here, right? So I'm not going to do anything with those because I can't fill them in yet. But we got our 2. And we know that one of these is a 2 here. So, and the 2 blocks up here, the 2 blocks up here. So one of these is a 2. But that's not terribly important right now. The important thing is that I think we found the 8 here. Now one of these is an 8. And because we found the 2 here, we now have resolved the 7-2 remote pair we had here, because this now must be a 7 and this must be a 2. So to recap, up here we're looking at a 7-5 here and a 1-8 here, and therefore a 7-5 here as well. So now let's have another look at these squares here. Since we found this 7 now, and we have this 7, we know that this is a 7, therefore a 5 must go here. These are now 1 and 8 because they've been 1 and 8 all the time, and therefore this square's got to be a 5. So 1, 8 here, this is now a 3 and a 2. We got a 2 in the row, making this a 3 and this a 2, right? A 3 blocking over, a 3 blocking across, this is a 3. These two now must be a 5 and a 9. What else? This is still a 1, 4 and a 1, 4, isn't it? The other square here has got to be a 9, and I really don't know. Well, hang on. Yeah, a 9 must go here or here, and therefore here, as we just discussed. So still nothing. What about these squares? They have to be a 7, 9, and a 3. 3 goes up here, 7, 9, no, and no. But surely we can do something with what we have already. 1, 2, 7, 8. We got 1, 8 here, so this is 7, 2. 7, 2 seems to be a theme for this grid. And yes, we got the 7 blocking up and the 7 blocking over. One of these must be a 7. Therefore, none of these can be a 7, and we have a 7 blocking down here as well, and 1 7 blocking across. So this is a 7. For column 5 now, we only need a 2, 9, and a 4. We got a 2 blocking here, we got a 2 blocking here, so this obviously must be a 2. And that makes this a 2, by the way. So a 9 and a 4 for these two squares. What about across here? Only 4 squares missing, namely a 1, 4, 8, and a 9. 1, 8. So an 8 must go here somewhere, of course, and I can't seem to find the last digit, at least not easily. And who wants a lot of work on a Sunday morning? And I think we can make it a little easier for ourselves by spotting these twos blocking down here. And these twos blocking over, giving us a free 2 for this square here. This is a 1, 3. What else is missing in the row? A 4 and a 5. So a 4 can't go here. 4 must go here over, go here somewhere. We got a couple of 7s blocking over, don't we? And 1 7 blocking down. So we nailed this 7. This is now a 1, 9, and this is a 1, 9. And we obviously do have a 1 in the row, making this a 9 and this a 1. And that makes this a 1 and this a 3. Across here, these 3 squares must be a 9 and a 4 and a 5. Let's see, 5 here. That's not easy, is it? Or maybe it's easy, I'm just not seeing it. Still need a 1, 7, 8 across here. There's an 8 here and a 1 here, so that's easy. This is a 7. And therefore, we have a 7 here. This must be the 3 then. And now one of these is a 3. One of these two squares must be a 9 and the other must be a 5. And that makes these 3 a 1, 8 and a 3. No, this 3 can't go here, so one of these two must be a 3. And by the way, we have 3 empty squares here, a 1, 3, and an 8. This puzzle isn't as tough as some of the other recent puzzles from the New York Times, but it's still giving me a little workout. We got a 6 and a 2 here, and we got a 6 and a 2 here, but what about the 4, 5, and the 9? They need to go in 3 of these empty squares. The 9 can't go here, so the 9 must go here or here. And therefore here or here, right? The 4 could go anywhere, and the 5 the 5 could go here or here. Oh, hang on, didn't we just say that a 9 couldn't go here? And the 9 can go here or here, and we need a 9 for this row, so of course this is, and this is therefore a 5. And that makes this a 5, and we got a 5 over here now, and one more 5, I think. 5, 5, yes, 5 up here. The other one, if memory serves, was a 9. So this was a 1 and a 4, and this is a 1 and a 4 because we got a 4 here now. This is a 1 and this is a 4. Yes, and therefore this must be a 1 and this must be a 9, making this a 9 as well. And here is a 9. and that is the last 9. Now we just need to find the 1, 3, 4s, and 8s to complete this puzzle. These two squares must be a 4 and a 3. The 3 blocks down, making this a 3 and this a 4 and this a 4 and this therefore must be a 3. 3 blocks up, 3 blocks over, this is a 3, and this square must be a 1, making this a 1 and this a 1 and this an 8, because we analyzed that to death, didn't we? This is also an 8 as well as this one, and this last square is a 4. That wasn't too bad today. I think it was a very interesting puzzle, though. It wasn't as clear-cut a path as I would have liked, but as long as we made it through to the end, I'm happy. I hope you are too. Thank you for watching, and goodbye for now.